Today's video is sponsored by Locket, a home insurance startup based in the UK. Stay tuned to find out more. It's time to find out if things have improved since the IKEA Gate scandal of 2019. Mate. You see, one of my patrons reminded me that IKEA's stuff is Zigbee based, is exceedingly cheap, there's absolutely loads of it, and it works with Apple Homekit. Good. He also said there had been some massive improvements since my last encounter. IKEA have never offered me sponsorship for a video, and it's probably because I am this person. So me and my much hotter wife went to IKEA to play with various bits of display equipment and to look at the much improved selection of Zigbee devices, which range from things such as this £115 light panel to some of the cheapest Zigbee devices I have ever seen. And I bought all of the Zigbee. Like all of it. And it's a massive thanks to my patrons for allowing me to do so, because I've discovered that this thing does something really unusual. Did that work? Has that baited you in? Have you been baited by the master? Have you been masturbated? I'm gonna keep doing that joke, and I'm not sorry. So Nisha made me yell my catchphrase, which got me told off by a little girl. Oh, the Zigbee! I pulled some excited faces whenever the checkout lady wasn't looking. And so we left IKEA in very much the same way that I had entered it.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Place I never knew, but when I'm way up here.
This video is a look at all the Zigbee products IKEA has to offer, and whether or not they're worth buying. Spoiler alert, they are. My main focus today, though, is on this motion sensor, because it costs a ridiculously low price of 13 quid and works with Amazon Alexa, Google Home, Apple HomeKit, Samsung SmartThings, Home Assistant, and Philips... Sorry. It works with Philips... Excuse me. It works with Philips... It works with this hub from the Dutch. The big news here, though, is that it works outside. A motion sensor that I can finally stick outside that can get rained on and won't get fried by the weather. And this massive array of products are all Zigbee, so they will work even if your internet connection is down. And the large collection of light bulbs are also Zigbee, which means that you can connect these light bulbs directly to your Amazon Echo if it has a built-in Zigbee hub, and not need an IKEA hub at all to make these things work with your voice assistant. Before I take you through whether IKEA's ecosystem is actually any good, let me just tell you this. You don't need it. Because most of the IKEA stuff will actually work directly with your Amazon Echo, as I've already stated, but you could also connect them to things like SmartThings, or Hibbert, or Home Assistant using a Zigbee stick. You could even connect it to Philips Hue. I said it. Hey, I can say Philips. Anything outside of IKEA's bulbs is unfortunately a little bit more complicated. The motion sensor, for example, can be paired to my Amazon Echo, but Amazon doesn't know what it is or how to use it. It's entirely pointless. It's also a bit of a weird affair to connect it to Philips Hue's bridge, but it can be done if you're a smart home sadomasochist and hate yourself. The motion sensor can connect to Philips Hue, but only via a third-party app. The motion sensor can't connect directly to an Amazon Echo, as I've already stated, but can connect to Amazon via the IKEA hub. It can't connect to HomeKit directly, but can via the hub in exactly the same way as the Echo. It can connect to Samsung SmartThings and work just like any other Zigbee motion sensor without any hub required, which is awesome. But it can't connect to Hibbert for some reason, because apparently Hibbert don't give a crap about it. Literally. That's what they wrote in their forums. We don't give a crap about IKEA. I'm reliably informed by my SOC lawyer that I can't say that. That's libelous. Hibbert did not say those exact words. They meant those words. They just didn't say them. Rob, can you just do me a favor and just press the subscribe button. I don't know how many Robs there are, but they all just went, what? I did it to Adam's last week. I said I would do it to Barry's this week. I didn't. Sorry, Barry's. Probably press subscribe anyway. If your name is Adam or Barry or Rob, or in fact any name, press the button. Press it. Press it. And now, a word from our sponsor, Locket. Reginald, you have a bunch of smart home whiz-bangs in your house, don't you? And you'd like it if those whiz-bangs could get you a discount on your insurance premium, wouldn't you? And you like smart home gadgets because you're a dandy with baby arms that aren't strong enough to flip a light switch, aren't you? Never fear, Reginald. Locket are a UK-based home insurance startup that, although they can't do anything about your pathetic baby arms, they could give you a cheaper price on your insurance premium simply because you use smart home tech to protect that dilapidated garden shed that you call a house. Use the Locket app to manage your policy, access member benefits, increase and decrease your cover, change your excess, add or remove power-ups like accidental damage, and let them know if you've added more smart home tech to see if it will reduce your premium even further. Locket saved me an absolute shit ton of money, and it's a good job too, because I'm tighter than a wet mouse's butthole. No! 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 What? Get him out! No! Get out! I still get paid though. Get out! Get out! Sorry. Don't have that kind of smut here. Even better yet, if you sign up for the Locket Insiders program, you could get completely free smart home tech such as the Ring Video Doorbell, Yale water leak sensors, a home extinguisher from LifeSafe Technologies, and even a sonic shutoff valve from Hero Labs. I don't think I'm reading this right. It says it's free, and you get to keep the devices permanently even though it is free. Reginald, sign me up for Locket immediately! Find out more by visiting the links in the description. And now, back to our main feature. The motion sensor will connect directly to Home Assistant via a CONBEE stick or similar, and it works brilliantly in my studio for turning this room on every time I enter it. But here's the weird part. You can pair the motion sensor and the remotes directly to the Ikea bulbs, and the motion sensor will behave as if it is the hub. I can pair this thing to this thing without a hub, and it will react to motion. Well, that's stupid. That just means the lights will come on all the time, all day, every day. How do you get them to come on when it's just dark? Well, I'm glad you asked. Yes, I'm glad you asked, you obnoxious piece of shit. The motion sensor itself has a light sensor built in, and on the back of the motion sensor are buttons so that you can choose whether the motion sensor will react all day every day or only when it's dark. Both the motion sensor and the remotes can pair to more than one bulb too, which means that if I hold it for 10 seconds by bulb number 1 and then hold it for 10 seconds by bulb number 2, both bulbs will be paired to the same motion sensor or remote and both will react. And finally, the motion sensor also has a secondary button on it which will decide whether the bulb will come on at 30% brightness or 100% brightness so that you can use this motion sensor as a night light. Just genius. Brilliant. Brilliant. So this smart home motion sensor will turn the bulb on and then never turn it off. Well, that's not correct as a hobby here. Idiot. No. You see, the motion sensor will automatically turn the bulb off after 3 minutes of inactivity, which is just like genius. You don't need a bridge as a consequence. The only thing that's a little bit of a shame is that you can't pair one bulb to a remote and a motion sensor. You can only pair to one or the other unless you're using the hub. If you use the hub, there's no problem. The only other thing is you can't pair a remote or a motion sensor directly to a third-party Zigbee bulb such as this one from Philips Hue. I said it again. I can say Philips. If you want to be able to use Apple Homekit, or you want to be able to use Google Voice Assistant, or in fact use Amazon Alexa for a lot of these products, then you will need the bridge. So the question is the IKEA ecosystem actually any good? Well, the setup process goes thusly. IKEA will first of all instruct you to wrap all of your cables in a tightly wound circle around the inside of their hub, which definitely won't cause radio electrical interference, noise, and ruin your broadband. Spoiler alert, it almost definitely will. The IKEA Home Smart app will then automatically discover the gateway, which is actually quite a bit better than last time. And once discovered, it will ask you to scan the QR code on the bottom of your gateway, and then allow you to start adding your lights and remotes. Adding the lights and the remotes is a bit of a mixed bag of absolute magic.
No way. That is good. That is a bit clever.
And bippity boppity bollocks.
No. The bulb has been unpaired from this and from the bridge, possibly paired to this, but this has no way to be instructed as to what it does. Complete bollocks.
So the problem with the setup process is a fairly major bug, and IKEA just haven't noticed it. If you go through the process of adding a bulb and a remote simultaneously using their wizard, it will ask you if you want to create a room. And I created the living room, and I put my bulb in the living room. And then IKEA's app went, "Oh, you put the bulb in the living room? I'm going to put the remote in group 2. You can't move it. You can't move your remote to the living room." Sorry, can I move the remote into the living room so I can use... No. So you have to actually factory reset the remote at that point so that you can put the remote in the living room with the bulb so that you can actually control it, which is just mind-blowingly stupid. And there are various issues around this theme during the setup process, but once you've got your head around it, it's actually fairly straightforward. I was able to eventually add all of the bulbs and all of the remotes without once signing up for an account, which is actually really cool. If you're the tinfoil hat type, this might be the system for you. The only fairly major drawback with that, pretty major, this thing stores all of the lights and scenes and devices. If it dies, all of that's gone and you have to start again, and it's going to take you hours. Welcome to Mastermind, and today's contestant is Paul Hibbert from the East Midlands. His speciality subject is idiotic things IKEA totally bollocksed up. The IKEA stuff is super cheap and actually works surprisingly well. The bulbs will integrate well with your existing Zigbee system if you have one, and if you're just starting out, then the bridge is a very easy and very cheap way to get into home automation. You can't do anything complicated with IKEA's hub. It doesn't do routines, for example. But if you want to do something more complicated, then their sensors may work with your existing hub, or you could create routines in Amazon Alexa instead. And if not, then you could just pair the motion sensor directly to the bulbs and finally have an outdoor motion sensor to trigger your garden lights without even needing a hub. IKEA have come a long way, and if they go much further, there'll be no point buying anyone else's stuff because this thing is completely local, doesn't require an account, is super easy to use, can control other third-party lighting products, and has one of the best motion sensors on the market. This video was not sponsored by IKEA. I'd like to thank my advertiser for helping sponsor this video, but most of all my patrons for helping me buy all this stuff. Without them, I would not only not have bought this stuff, I probably wouldn't even do this for a living. I would be back at the day job. If you want to be one of those incredible people running down your screen right now, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my Twitters and my Instagrams and my TikToks too. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. These are stale. I've been eating them for weeks. Skipping merrily and serenading Nisha with Zigbee songs all the way home. Zigbee songs? What? Zigbee songs. Oh, the Zigbee. And you can even connect them to Philips Hue. That was that was rubbish. Bad acting. If your name isn't Barry or Adam or Rob, subscribe anyway. What are you doing? Playing it. It's rubbish.